Hello everybody, welcome back to AJ's Game Corner. We're going to see how this goes. I'm going to see when we actually pop up live. We should be popping up any second now. Come on. Yes, hello, hello? Hello, hello? Shows that we're live, but the video is not up yet. Interesting. Hold on, videos. There it is, live. Yes, okay, so now we're live. I can hear it. Everything is good in the world. Welcome back to AJ's Game Corner. As you have probably noticed, AJ is not here, and we are not playing a game. We are actually reacting to an old video of mine. One from my previous channel. Actually a series of videos. This is a web series I had to do for college. So, yeah, I'm hoping people show up. Obviously, there's someone, because we got one person in the chat, and it doesn't show myself, and we got 2 likes, so something's going on here. So, yes, let's get into this. This is Doom. I wrote, produced, basically did most of it, as you'll see in the credits.
Now flip the switch and have your final victory.
I'm not sure how the volume is for you guys.
Had such hope for you. Now, had such hope for you.
What just happened? I think I pressed a keyboard. I'm gonna check the volume. Okay, volume's pretty high, so I'm gonna drop it down and we're gonna see how this looks. Yeah, I think this will work. Maybe closer to like there. Nothing? Was I just silent for literally like 30 seconds?
I know you're the best of the best.
Crazy.
Take this file. Whose case is it? My brother's. I'll take it.
Okay.
You sure, Master?
That's fine. You'll probably be able to hear me over that.
Everyone should be represented when they are sent to the court of Osiris.
Okay, so let's go back. Sorry. So, there was a lot of compromise that had to be done.
I know you're the best of the best. Take this file. Since
every single week we basically
my brother's
recorded,
you sure,
edited.
Of course. Everyone should be represented when they are sent to the court of Osiris.
Thank you. Without you, he's probably going to fall to Tartarus.
Oh yeah.
Well, at first glance, he might fall anyways.
Just do the best you can.
I will.
So, yeah, everything was recorded, edited, wrapped together, audio fixed, recorded in post for the audio, spliced in within a single week.
Lucifer, what secrets do you hold? Why didn't you bow to mankind?
Yeah, I wasn't a good director at all. But
Well, what's happening?
Some of these shots
Not doing anything, sir.
I particularly like. Like this one, Belial's Enforcement, that's some good foreshadowing for other things going on. And then in the background here, you can see like this kind of like diagram thing with like did not bow to man. And then there's some other post-it notes. There was a lot of the little background details, which I loved. I just didn't focus enough on the directing itself, I don't think. But then again, I was 20.
What's happening?
So,
Not doing anything, sir.
yeah.
Are there any meetings set up between him and Beelzebub yet?
Not yet. I think his lieutenants were going to contact him.
That
No.
doesn't surprise me. To make it appear that he didn't know Lucifer wasn't going to bow to the humans.
When is the trial for Iblis, Davi, Sepid, and Lucifer?
Iblis and Divi Sepid's trial is next week. Lucifer the week after.
Lucifer isn't being trialed at the same time?
No. He's getting special treatment.
Yeah.
For orders of the Great One.
Alright.
Yeah.
Azazels?
Oof.
Azazel isn't getting a trial. He's getting a sentence. We just need to figure out who his co-conspirators are, if any.
Right, sir.
And then we got, that was another interesting background detail, which I had. You have someone else in this top corner up here, but
If any.
as we see,
Right, sir.
and then it cuts out. Probably one of the, like, I'm very proud of some of the background stuff, but the actual directing I'm not as keen on, let's say. All three of those are the exact same room, although they're supposed to look like parallel, like, interrogation rooms. Dive Sepid, yeah.
What I don't know is why.
Well, you're my lawyer. I think I'd be more willing to tell you if the security feed was cut off.
Why'd you cut it?
Yeah.
Well, he has a right to talk to his lawyer in private.
Okay.
You are trying to ensure a fair
Suppose-
trial, right, sir?
Yes. Check on Azazel.
Whatever I say, you're going to try your hardest to help me, right?
Yes. I believe you deserve it.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues that came in and out from trying to work on this.
What?
Especially with timing on certain people and
I
getting
would rather live in the Netherworld.
the schedule all set up.
You don't want to win this trial.
I think we both know I'm going to lose. What I don't know is where I'm going to be sent. And I prefer not to be sent to Tartarus.
I wonder who this guy could be.
So you rather be sent to Narca or Jehanium?
Jehennem.
The two places I prefer most would be Hades or Orcus.
I'll do some research into those places, the viability of those options. However, you will have to present something worthy enough that Osiris will agree.
I know,
It was
and that's why I've kept my information about Azazel's revolt to myself.
it was very tricky to match up lips. I got better as the series progressed, but definitely early on.
I'll be back in a couple days to solidify our plan of attack.
I don't want to attack. I want to
I'm going to
negotiate.
negotiate.
I know, it's just a saying.
Yeah.
Because I will not lead a revolt.
Yep, and you don't see Lucifer's face at all in that first episode. Give you a bit of mystique, a bit of questions. I did really like this effect I ended up doing. As you can see, the majority of the casting, the music, there's some special thanks in there, but a lot of it was me. Of course I know him. He's me! So yeah, that was the first episode, Genesis. Like I said, I definitely like more of the background stuff. The background stuff to me still adds up better than the actual foreground stuff. I definitely wasn't good at directing them. I feel like the writing was fine. It could have been better, but the writing itself fit with the theme I was going for in it. You know, it was supposed to be this like fantasy thing, kind of, but jury thing as well. And yeah, it was interesting, but definitely could be a lot better.
Come on, brother. We can share this power.
And then
All
this,
of us.
No,
this for the
parents love you more
flashbacks.
than me.
Michael, no. I can't let you leave our family like this. I can't let you leave the upper world like this.
Let go of me.
I can't.
Goodbye, brother. You can't hold me back now.
Yeah, and then I slowed some things down, sped some things up just to match the wordings better, and that changed the pitch slightly and also made things worse. Oh, that's another thing. The ties change for him.
I don't
Which I
think I
like.
can get you into Hades or Orcus specifically.
Well, isn't that a shame?
Well, isn't that a shame?
Reveal. Yes, I played Lucifer in the series. Main character. Because why wouldn't I? And then, if you notice, the title screen changes slowly. From the dripping on the D, then
This
dripping on
isn't
the O.
funny. What you did could get you thrown into Tartarus.
That always cracks me up.
I didn't break any of his rules,
Tartarus. It was, we didn't have enough takes
No.
to fix it.
Did I partake in Typhon's rebellion?
So unfortunate.
Did I harm an innocent soul? No. I gave my brother the information needed to defeat Typhon. I even led my followers to help defeat him, so why would I be punished like his supporters?
I mean, that logically
Because
makes sense.
you didn't bow when the Lord created humans.
Versus that.
You could have been found guilty of.
I'm sure there's something you can do.
Well, perhaps the full story on why you did what you did, instead of just insinuating it, would allow me to help protect you better.
Yeah, I definitely
Followed up by
needed
a lie
another
detector test.
view
How
over.
about you scratch my back and I scratch yours?
I'm already defending you.
If you could try even harder to get me into Hades, I could get you a better job.
Not
Thompson.
interested.
You would be the only beacon of light in the middle of a dark world.
What?
Yep, we got
If I'm
this
sent
little
to Hades,
twist
I can
here.
reform it. Change it to a government by their people. You could be a liaison between light and dark. You could perhaps
Yeah,
save some of your
definitely you
friends
can
from Hades'
overhear.
punishment.
But yeah,
I don't think so.
I'm sure the Almighty would enjoy the
do the gumption.
May even promote you eventually.
That is a highly,
Highly irregular suggestion.
You'd be able to defend
I
me
haven't
and
looked at
keep
this
me in
script in
check.
so long, and yet I
And
still
haven't you
remember
wanted
most
to do
of it.
something new for a while now?
Why are you
Who are you
asking for this deal?
I see no other way out.
Because I know no other way
No,
out.
no other way out. And I wouldn't have to be
And
corrupted.
I wouldn't need to be corrupted to
Need
help
to be
men's
corrupted.
souls.
Of course not.
Yeah. Yep.
It is better than my current job.
Of course it is. Much better. So do we have a deal?
All right. Now tell me the full story.
It all started with the creation of the thrones. Specifically, my uncle Typhon and my father Diablo.
Gosh.
All right.
My father was the general of his lord's guardians, despite being younger than Typhon. Typhon plotted against my father and the Great One.
Yes, with the necronic cult.
Yes,
Yeah.
my brother ran away into the wilderness due to his own selfish wants. Michael led a minor revolt
Folds
against
the
the Great
Gunstone.
One, and the Great One forgave
Gave
him.
him.
Typhon then led the Ragnarok and killed our mother, sister, and transformed our father into a monster.
Yep.
If Michael wasn't selfish, none of this would have happened. I would have been able to protect so many more.
You view your brother as the cause of all of this.
I
Yeah.
view his betrayal and the Great One's inaction as the same.
Yep.
I have no reverence for them.
You have
I
blasphemed.
just miss my family. I know that I will never revolt.
Yeah, once again,
I'll make sure Michael doesn't come in. We'll win this case. You deserve some mercy.
Belial, is my brother still in there with Mastema?
Yeah, you can't go in though.
Michael,
Mastema, may I talk to Lucifer?
you may not. It would be a conflict of interest.
Alright.
Sorry, legal laws and all. Also, my client wants to be off the camera unless being questioned.
That can be arranged. I'll have to get someone to question him.
Don't worry. I'll make sure he goes nowhere.
Good. Any visitors today?
None. Beelzebub wants to visit tomorrow.
Alright.
Should I let him in?
Yeah.
What is it, sir?
Just thinking who I should bring in for the interrogation.
yeah. Still pretty rough. There's a total of 5 episodes, so we're already like almost halfway through. Once again, written, shot, edited by me. Lucifer, me. Casting, me. Music, I helped find, but it was mostly Kevin's, McLeod's royalty-free stuff. But yeah, so episode 2. What do I... And the flashback effect I thought was cool at the time. Going back at it now, I would totally choose something else. But this is how you learn. This is how you learn.
Come on, we'll rebel together. We like the old times.
No, I thought it was echoing through the speaker.
You know that this utopia is a lie. If he was truly good, he would have stopped all this pain from happening.
Your uncles have opened your eyes to chaos.
Yes, but I want nothing,
Nothing
but
but
order.
order. Yeah. A whole element of this, and a lot of my other stuff too. So we're on the 3rd episode already. Welcome to the stream.
Let me pass.
Person coming in.
It is forbidden to speak with him.
If you don't let me pass, I'll have to fight you.
It is my duty to serve and protect him.
So be it.
Yeah, as I've said, the directing has been pretty off.
Beelzebub.
But what do you expect
so happy
from
to see you here.
someone from college
going
trying
to
to
throw you the
direct it
Tartarus, sir.
yourself with
Just
no directing
Tell them it's a
background?
mistake.
I can't. Because it isn't.
Oh, what's going on? So,
Don't want to lose you too, sir.
so basically, this was my college project many years ago.
You do?
You know what, I'm going to pause it, go back a tiny bit, just so that way I don't speak over it so much. Yeah, so the music was royalty-free, Kevin McLeod. Basically, this was a college web series project. Directing's pretty bad. I'm just going to be flat out say that. I had no experience, no idea. I was the writer, the director, the casting guy, essentially the lead, Lucifer. This is basically Lucifer's trial. You missed the first 2 episodes, which do kind of build up to this, but yeah, a lot of the... Oh, fun fact, a lot of the voices were actually recorded in post and put in because of ambient noise issues. And so because of that, some of the lips actually even don't match up. And because of me trying to match it up, some of it's slightly faster, slower, and it changed the pitch. It's just all sorts of like, oh boy.
Don't want to lose you too, sir.
I know. I think
So-
I have a plan, though.
This is Beelzebub.
You
I'm not
do?
sure if you caught that.
Yes. Could you sneak into my home, grab a scroll hidden in my wardrobe, then go to Azazel's home and replace the scroll there? You should be able to tell by the paper on the scrolls.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
A lot of trickery going on here.
Wake up.
You infidel.
You're unsure. Who was helping you?
Sure, but sure. Yeah, no.
Let his wrath rain down on you if you do not tell me.
I forgot that there was supposed to be a punching sound effect, but I couldn't find one in time for me to turn in this episode. Because every episode came out literally 1 week from the previous one. So we had to shoot everything, record everything. Also in the video, you seem like you would be the perfect to play William Afton. Oh yeah, no, I have dressed up as Purple Guy before. No wait, yeah, I know Purple. There's a whole bunch of convolutedness on if Purple Guy is William Afton or his son, but yeah, no, totally, I can see that. One of the things I never actually did in this series was the makeup.
Who was
So
helping you?
I tried to find people who could do makeup, but some of it, depending on the episode, some of
Was
it's
your
better, some of
brother
it's not as good.
Samael helping you in your cause?
I did it on my own.
Mm-hmm. And what about
And
Lucifer?
how about Lucifer?
No. Lucifer wasn't a part of it.
Right. And then, like I said, this is like the flashbacks, and I totally would have picked something different.
What happened?
I talked to him while you were knocked out.
No.
I've
Did you attack him?
No. He promoted me to general of his guardians instead of you.
Why?
Now, I didn't have headphones
You've
back
rebelled
then.
against him for the past 4,000 years.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Forgave me.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the music was cutting out in that scene at all. And then we got Avnus here, which in this draft of the world was a fiance of
I'm
Lucifer.
not talking without my lawyer.
I'm not here
But-
to interrogate you. I'm here to warn you. They will find everything linking you and Azazel. You will go to Tartarus. Now, if you give them information on possible supporters,
If this is a witch hunt you're helping them with, I will have no part in it.
Osiris will find you guilty.
That advisor can find me guilty of whatever he wants. I already told you, I cannot bow to man.
You are being so idiotic, Lucy. But I wouldn't have expected it to play out any other way.
Goodbye, my former dear. I hope you can sleep knowing the truth.
It's so, but as I was saying, yeah, in this version, she's Lucifer's fiance. In the actual books that I've been writing, she is his ex-wife. There's been some changes since then. This is kind of supposed to be like the preface, if you will, and a lot of the background leading into the book series, which takes place decades and centuries after all of this takes place, kind of deal.
You're weak, Gusk. Prepare to meet the darkness.
Mom! No!
There's nothing we can do. Set is bringing an army to reinforce Typhon from the west. Retreat to the temple! My sister. Oh.
We've got to go. There's no time!
And I'm not sure, it's very hard to see in that last clip, actually. Let me see if I can go back and just pause it there. Yeah, you can barely see him. He's purposefully doing the, like, almost like cross-esque pose as, like, kind of like a mockery, if you will, because that's supposed to be Typhon, who caused the Ragnarok, which killed off a lot of the quote-unquote old gods, if you will. They aren't called gods in this, but kind of shtick. Hello, welcome, number 3, for joining us. You have just reached us in episode 4, so you missed out on the first couple episodes. That episode I liked quite a bit better. For some context, oh, and they're gone. Or maybe they're still here, and Multiverse is gone. I'm not sure, but for some context, you know, this is a web series I did back in college. We only had like a week to do things. I wrote, directed, organized everyone's time. It was pretty rough in some parts to get everything edited in time.
Why would you do this to me?
And then that's supposed to be Typhon. It's the same Diablo. And it's the same actor as Typhon because they're supposed to be like twin brothers, essentially. But because of the flashback filter, it ended up not reading well.
I gave my body's wound. I'm sorry, my child. I tried to protect all of you, including Michael.
Yep. Ah.
Great one. Please forgive me.
I'm glad to hear that. Yep. And then one detail is, like, as you might notice, the dripping letters have been moving over one by one. Oh, and there's Sam Yaza.
He won't listen to reason.
Damnation, Lucifer.
I love it. I love that line so much.
We both know that is false.
Samyaza.
No! I rescued him from the Ragnarok. I was his first friend.
I was not his fiance.
We shouldn't have filmed with this guy this summer, actually.
Lost someone very dear, and he didn't bow.
Yeah.
I know he'll be all right.
How?
What is the one thing Lucifer does best?
Win.
Win. No matter what the cost.
I was actually very happy with these two in general. Some of the other directing didn't go out as well, but these two in general I really liked working with, and they did really well for their roles, I think.
Prometheus.
That's right, his cousin's Prometheus. I
So what do
don't
you know
believe
about
that's
Azazel's
actually
plan?
canon anymore.
Azazel is just a pawn in a much larger.
Might be.
Whose?
Samael,
Actually, yeah, I
Azazel's
think so.
brother.
How do you know?
Samael messaged me.
Are you lying to me?
Now, how does this deal system work?
I'm going to talk to Osiris tomorrow.
Thank you. You're really a wonderful angel. The Great One would be proud.
Thank you.
I believe this week we actually weren't able to get anyone together at all for like the interrogation scenes, so we actually had to shoot everything one side for everyone, and then like
Balberith and Beelzebub.
the next day shoot my
Why
side
does
of
a being
things.
from Hades want to visit at the same time Beelzebub does?
Balberith said he wanted to thank Lucifer personally for rescuing him during the Ragnarok. And they don't even know the other...
I'm just going to pause really quick. I'm going to go back so that way we can go through something I just want to point out. So in the background here, in the very... Was it the first episode, I want to say? Yeah, it would definitely be the first episode, I think. We see Belial drawing this symbol and writing the enforcement and that type of stuff. And we also see this cork he's writing this on his desk. And then we see this corkboard behind Michael when he showed up in the first episode. And there were a couple other sticky notes here. And those guys already had their trial, so their sticky notes are gone, essentially. Yeah, he was. He was sent to Tartarus in this version of the world, which I think is pretty much the same that happened there. And then one little neat detail is Belial is based off of a demon from the Lesser Key of Solomon, and he actually has a sigil that is based off of him, essentially. And this is actually the sigil, which ends up becoming the main symbol for Hell's police department.
Lucifer personally for rescuing him during the Ragnarok. And
Spoilers,
they don't even
maybe.
know the others going to visit, but I don't see how else to schedule them during the last of visiting hours.
Alright. Just let him in.
Did you get a haircut?
I did.
Best line. My friends always make fun of that. I just always had this thought of like immortals never change.
If it wasn't Melachota, Adramelech,
Malik.
or Mephistopheles, who assisted you?
I told you no.
Alright.
You actually see Malachota, Mephistopheles, Adramelech. You see two of those three in the first actual book. And then the third one's mentioned quite heavily. Interesting. Also, this thing has both Greek and Norse gods? Yes, actually. So this world has combinations of myths, religions, folktales from all around the world in this one unified world kind of deal. This story in particular is following Lucifer's fall from grace. And there was even, I think you missed it earlier, he mentioned Osiris will find you, that advisor can find me of whatever he wants. And so there's also Egyptian gods as well in there. There's some Aztec ones, several different types of African deities, some North American
What have they done to you?
Deities as well. Even
I'm
some
not
from
here to
Oceania.
help them. They threw me in. I just don't want you to be sent to Tartarus.
But it has to happen.
Well, you did rebel, Azazel.
And what did you tell Lucifer? Do you want him to be sent to Tartarus?
His was a class 38 at worst. Yours is a class 68,910, which I think is quite a bit worse.
We were close. verse 47, so don't act so all high and mighty.
I do keep the Sabbath holy.
I love that code thing. So I went through, and I forget, I used words specifically, and there's a code called like gematria or something. I forget the name. It's a Hebrewic puzzle like numbering thing where you essentially assign each letter of the alphabet a number. And so a lot of these numbers that seem out of nowhere in my series are based off of that. Similar to how the term 666 is the number of the beast, is actually if you go in and you use that code on the name Nero. And I believe it's the Latin version that it's 666. And interestingly enough, the Greek version says 616. And if you look at the Greek version of the name Nero, it adds up to 616 if you use even that same type of patterning. So people have kind of discovered that the number of the beast is actually based off of that Roman emperor at that time period who was known for slaughtering Christians. So using that same kind of code structure, I came up with basically everything. So Senate seats in hell, when we get to the actual book series, is based off of that same type of numbering structure. So most of the numbers are actually kind of similarly based on that, which adds a slight level of detail, which the majority of people would have no idea to even look for unless I said something like this.
Look, Azazel, I'm not going to try and get the information out of you.
I told Joe Feel about 130 times.
You did it alone?
Yes.
You realize the Tartarus will be the worst thing that can ever happen. Especially if you are put in the Zoa Rotashit block.
I'm sure Osiris will be fair.
I don't want us to become enemies.
Your spine being non-existent doesn't help that.
Ooh.
Goodbye, friend.
Yeah, no, the
best in Tartarus.
Enjoy the new world.
I like that line. I like that line so much. Oh, your spine. I'm really starting to like this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I have some books that I've been writing which take place in this universe. This was actually made after I had a lot of the book ideas. So I already wrote about, I'm going to pause it one more time. I already wrote about 3 different books, not books, but like 3 different things for this series. And then the web series came up and I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to do this like all the way back, like back lore kind of deal, which will connect, which most people wouldn't really notice or care about, if you will.
Don't think I did not see what you did. It is in my jurisdiction to arrest you if you are aiding a criminal. However, if I get the slightest scent that you are aiding him, I will have you wishing you confessed.
I didn't even know he planned it.
I'm sure.
Little bit of intrigue that ends up happening in the book series is when Lucifer falls, as I said, Avernus becomes his ex-wife. And then after that happens, and this just makes me laugh so much how everything works out. After that happens, Avernus and Samyaza get together. And then Samyaza falls because he basically parallels what he did in the Book of Enoch, which is he decided to try to reproduce with humans, if you will. And because Zeus is already way gone because of the Ragnarok in this, I decided to basically have him be the surrogate for a lot of those Zeus tales, if you will. So in one of the books it's mentioned he did shapeshift into like a swan, for example. And so he ends up down there as well at one point.
I cannot follow him any longer. I will not bow to those things.
Lucifer, we should give the humans a chance. You gave Zenu's kind a chance.
No. Can't lie any longer. At the festivities, I'm not going to bow to the humans.
Then the Great One Seraphim will attack you.
I know. have fun enjoying humans.
What has happened to you, my friend?
You'll see someday. I just hoped you'd see at the same time.
And then they become political rivals in hell, which makes me laugh too. And the final episode, all of the letters are in the dripping font. I'm not sure if you noticed. I know I've mentioned it in the previous ones, but each one, episode 1 starts with D dripping, everything else normal, and then it just keeps going and going. And now we're also at the point where when we see Mastema in this episode, he's got a completely black tie. At the very beginning, yeah, there are references. I'm not sure if I have references to those ones specifically. I know in part of the Pandora story arc line, when they talk about ancient humans, they do mention the swan for sure. But yeah, so I'm not sure, because you weren't here for the first episode, but in the first episode, Mastema, the lawyer, had a pure white tie, and it gradually gets darker until we get to this episode where when we see him, it should be a completely black tie.
What are you doing here?
And that's
They allow visitors.
Balberith.
But from Hades?
Yeah.
Alright. Balberith, Beelzebub. Beelzebub, Balberith.
I've heard about you.
As I have of you. You are falling to Hades?
Most likely. I've saved many souls from there during the Great War, so I'm hoping to.
Good. Because Hades is enacting crimes against all of those who aren't thrones or Nephilim.
What?
Yes, and during the war you talked about how you wanted to start a democracy. And about how you share values of equality with your aunt, Hell. May she rest in peace.
You want me to lead a revolt against Hades?
Yes. One of his guards is already willing to help. His name is Supe.
You shall reform Hades.
Thank you, sir.
Lucifer, the deed is done.
A bit, yeah.
Thank you, Beelzebub.
He does.
I'm most certainly going to
He
fall to
isn't,
Hades.
but he does look a bit like him.
Now I need a close team that I can trust to help lead the revolution.
I will follow you to the end and back.
I will stand by your side for as long as you need me. And even longer.
This plan must take precedence over everything else. We shall reform Hades, change its name to Hell, then we shall stop all the injustices in the Netherworlds.
There it is.
I am ready to pledge.
As am I.
There it is. That makes me laugh. The screaming in the background that you heard very, very briefly, if you have really good headphones, not planned at all. We were filming this in our college, which was an acting college, a conservatory. So there were people doing vocal testing and other things in like neighboring rooms. So for the most part, we were able to get it when everything was quiet, but just that one moment.
We are going to unite the Netherworld.
Yes. Someday, it'll be time to take down the tyrant.
You didn't inform Balberth of this.
Well, I'm not sure how long it's going to be in the future, and I figured I didn't need to inform him of something that's going to happen like hundreds of thousands of years. We need this to go slow for now, to avoid suspicion.
Lucifer, do not lose your head to vengeance and greed.
I will remain practical first, as always.
I know what you truly want. I know you. And I'm certain you will achieve it. And I know I will play an integral part in it.
Thank you, friend. Are you in contact with that witch doctor, Proculo?
Yes. Why?
I need her help in getting rid of these nightmares.
She's living in Hades at the time, so...
So Helheim was turned into Hades and then turned into Hell. No, so Helheim didn't actually exist as a realm in this world. Hell herself, as in the being Hell, existed, and she had, like, she was in a town, and the town would probably be called Helheim now that I think about it. But basically, she died during the Ragnarok along with a lot of other older gods, if you will. They're not called gods once again, but just as a easy explanation. And so she was Lucifer's aunt in this. So when Lucifer fell to Hades, he overthrows it and turns it into hell.
Thank you. Getting rid of something like that may change you, though.
Although keeping them may change me for the worst.
Congratulations. You've exiled to Hades.
All black.
Here you can do whatever you want.
Thank you, Miss Emma.
Lucifer, I know you blame Michael for everything, but he feels the weight of his actions.
A torturer could torture 100 people and feel remorse. But that doesn't mean we should forgive and forget them. It just means we should stop them from having the ability to repeat that action, no matter the cost.
Yeah. That's basically
Lucifer, come with me.
Lucifer's main thing. Although some of the dialogue and some of the stuff in here is no longer canon because of how things have worked out. The majority of it is surprisingly still accurate.
Perhaps I can
save you
myself.
Yep.
I sure do love when prisoners get haircuts.
Other best line. You cannot argue me. Best line in the entire thing.
Lovely color on you.
Thank you.
Ah, shoot. Unfortunately, the camera did that. That was actually a very important thing I did specifically. Lucifer, as you might notice, is wearing green in this, while normally you would picture him wearing red, right? Belial is wearing red, and he just mentioned, "Let's
color on you.
Nice color on you."
Thank you. Sure look good on you too. Are you sure you had nothing to do with that?
There's no such thing as double jeopardy, right?
Yes.
It's just a
Choice whoever hates that.
Yes. If only there was someone who wanted to start a security force there.
Yep. And this was actually an original piece. One of my friends, I actually haven't talked to him in so long. He's, I don't know what he's doing. I listened to some of his music after this, but then I just got busy with other things and I haven't checked back on him. But yeah, completely original music piece for the ending of this. But yeah, so as hinted, Belial does end up falling to create essentially the police department in hell. Dude in blue seems like a Joker. Yeah, kind of. He gets pretty messed up. He's one of the 4, so there was yep. And this shows everyone throughout the entire thing. Hyman and Kamail. You might be like, where's this guy at? And then here we have the last credits that aren't that.
Lucifer. I'm Supe. Balberith couldn't make it because he is in a meeting with Malcolm.
Good. We want to do this quietly and quickly, and make it seem as if Hades chose me to be his successor.
And that is it. That is the end of Doom. I'm gonna go back to this page so we're not staring at the sigil for Lucifer the entire time while we just talk. Hello, Plush Minister. Welcome to the stream. You just made it for us to finish Doom. Yeah, how's it going, Salbar? I notice you're watching your college stuff. Yeah, we just finished it. Reason why we're going through this is various reasons. Partially because AJ's too busy with her school in order to watch it with me and to play games. Partially because just kind of looking through it, as you guys might have known, some of you will have known, not all of you. I've been writing some novels essentially, and this is part of that universe, if you will. And I'm hoping to. It's not anywhere ready yet because AJ's been the one editing, and if she can't make it to the stream, you can figure she hasn't been able to edit. But yeah, I'm hoping to get some more information out there soon, and hopefully get the ball rolling into the direction where I can focus on this. AJ is too busy for your attention. JK, JK. No, I wouldn't even say JK. She is too busy right now. So yeah, going back to the dude in blue, as Multiverse 8 put it, that's Azazel, who is one of the four. Like, you had four really good friends, and basically all of them get messed up way before the books actually start, and that's Lucifer, Samyaza, Avnis, and Azazel. Azazel gets sent to Tartarus, so we don't really hear much of him throughout the majority of the series. Once you get sent to Tartarus, you get messed up. Essentially, in this world, Tartarus is kind of like the Guantanamo Bay of heaven, if you will. Or the upper world, I mean. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. While in hell, typically punishments for mortals, and I'll be very specific on that, mortals, tend to be based off of the circle itself and, like, generality of what you did, you know, like, were you gluttonous, were you greedy, that type of thing in general. Tartarus is very specific per individual. Like, for example, Prometheus being plucked out by an eagle, which, yeah, and you have, like, for example, Echidna forced to look at the hides of her dead children for eternity, which her children, for those of you, aren't actually normal children. They're like Cerberus and the Hydra and the Sphinx, for example. She was the mother of monsters, if you will, in Greek mythology. I do have some other videos within my old channel here, so let me just find. We have a couple daily crimes. We got, I believe there was another thing in here. Oh yeah, that's right. I have nothing. That's right. I have nothing. Everything's unlisted, but I forgot to unlist the playlists. So you can still find the playlists, but the videos themselves are unlisted. Beautiful. 22 IQ play there. So we do have a couple small things. We have the daily crimes, which were supposed to be done weekly as well, while I, like, in between me recording the main series stuff. And then it just kind of fell apart because I didn't have time, I didn't have people. I had a lot of ambitious content, but as you might notice, it had too much ambition without the actual stuff. Yeah, I knew the Greek stuff like Mother of Monsters. Nice. But yeah, so as you can imagine, I could show off a couple small old designs for characters in a minute.
Hello, Al, and welcome to the Daily Crimes. Today we have 3 very exciting stories. We have information about the first election in Hell, we have turmoil in Orcus, and we have an alliance with Gehenna. Stay tuned.
Yeah, and so there was this, which was the Daily Crimes, which was essentially a parody news thing. And it was...
Our first story for today. the first election in Hell. It's been 500 years since Hell has been formed. We have Lucifer running for the Fallen Party, and we also have Asmodeus running for the Dragon Party. The two parties currently in Hell's Senate. Who are you going to pick? Second story of today. There is turmoil happening in Orcus.
Yeah, so
The
this
leader
is...
of Orcus is saying that settlers from Hell are trying to convert the people to join Hell. We have no idea whether this is true or not.
This was
But
one take
we're
because
going
I
to
couldn't
watch
find
it
someone
very
else to
carefully.
record it.
In other news, we have an alliance in Jehannam now. Jehannam and Hell now are entering a very nice peace treaty, and it appears as if the
Very nice
senators,
peace treaty.
corresponding with one another, really are taking pleasure in it. Currently, Jehannam has modeled its democracy after Hell's, and we're hoping that maybe...
Hello,
someday
Banebrain. You're writing from the hospital. I'm hoping you're
Well,
okay
that's
and
all
you're
for
just
this week.
visiting.
Please join us next week for the news.
I'm hoping everything's all right with you, Banebrain. Geez, no, that's a terrifying sentence to hear. Yeah. So, yes, Aruni. We are, so I'm going to go back through daily crimes because there were all the text from the bottom that people weren't able to do. But yes. Man, this 30-second delay is really killing me on, like, waiting for a response. Yes, you're okay? Well, that's okay. I'm hoping whoever you're there for is doing better. And I'm hoping they're going to be okay soon. Once again, this 30-second delay, awful. I hate it. I should probably see if we can change that, but I remember there was, like, back when we got everything set up, there wasn't a time. Okay. So we're going to continue here. So, as we see in the bottom, it says, Pandora opens mysterious jar given to her. Time's missing children were released back into the world as a result. Adam, Eve, and Lilith. It's not because of disease. Did you break a leg? Because that'd be bad. Or please tell me you didn't do what a couple of my friends were. Oh! Interesting. Is it like vaccinations or something? Maybe? Adam, Eve, and Lilith have bitten from the fruit of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. You have 70 kilobytes per second internet here. Oof. Is that rough? I think that's rough. I don't remember. I can't remember the K's or the G's or the B's. Did I see... Anyways, okay. The nations of DU and Naraka opened an alliance last week. Details on how this was possible are still fuzzy at best. Right? And then Neptune has chosen Poseidon to follow him in an unlikely event. He will no longer be able to rule. Triton has voiced his negative opinion on the subject. I like stuff where they have all those mythologies together, like the God of War series. Definitely. I do find it very interesting how people can combine them together, because there is a lot of things that seem to line up. But there is easily triple the number of things that don't. So seeing what authors decide to like mix together does create an interesting thing, because none of them, in theory, should be the same. The archives of the ancients were opened yesterday after a plead by the throne Thoth to rebuild it. Currently, they are employing more Apkallu than any other location. Oni, ruler of Yomi, is celebrating the birthday of his late wife, Hel. He has declared it a national day of rest in Yomi. So those are kind of just some of the background stuff. If they find that I'm depressed boy, then I'm not good for army. Ooh. Yeah, means I don't waste 1.5 years in army. Ooh. Interesting. So, hopefully, you don't waste 1.5 years in army, because it sounds like that's, if you term it like that, don't waste, then I'm feeling you don't want necessarily. So I hope it works out how you want it to work out.
Hello, Hal. Welcome to the Daily Crimes. This week, we have 3 very exciting stories for you. We have war being declared in Orcus, political unrest in Jehannam, and we finally know the candidates for the Fallen Party.
And so this was kind of going to lead into like some of the background stuff into like the world that already exists by the time the books happen. The first book happens, I believe, essentially, first book happens roughly 5000 BC if you try to calculate it. And this happens right after the Ragnarok, which is probably like something like hundreds of thousands of BC.
Orcus has declared war on Hell. After a section of their territory has ceded off of them to join Hell, Orcus has been enraged and has claimed that we are backstabbers. More next week. We finally know the candidates for the Fallen Party. We have Lucifer as High Lord Satan, an obvious pick, Beelzebub as Vice Satan, Malcolm as Treasurer, and Balberith as Secretary. We were fortunate enough to get an interview with Beelzebub this week. So, Beelzebub, you are currently the Vice Satan candidate for the Fallen Party, correct?
Correct.
Now, you've been Vice Satan for the first High Lord Satan, Lucifer, when Hell was created, right?
Correct, and it's the Great Lucifer.
Right, the Great Lucifer. So, how is it like working with Lucifer? Is he, like, neat and orderly? Does he plan stuff out?
Definitely a planner. I wouldn't necessarily say neat and organized, but definitely a planner.
All right. Do you think he makes a good High Lord Satan?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be here if he didn't.
Good point. Now, regarding the turmoil in Orcus, so Orcus has just declared war on us, and so what is your positions on going to war against Orcus? Do you feel it's necessary or not?
I feel like when you have someone knocking on your door, you answer it. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Thank you. Political unrest in Jehannam. After a new political party has joined their Senate, everything's been in turmoil. People have been claiming that the senators are being paid way too much with too little results. There are rioters in the streets now. Currently, some of them are being led by Riri. We will find out more next week.
Riri?
Please join us next time with the Daily Crimes.
I can't wait for people to see Riri, because my lord. Almost everything I hear those names, Beelzebub, I think of Helltaker. When I hear Lucifer, I think of the show and character Lucifer. Interesting. Yeah, no, it's definitely not based off of those renditions. They're more based off of the original renditions, obviously. And then I do have
Hello, Hal, and welcome to
one
the Daily
last
Crimes.
video
Today we
that
have
I can
3.
show that's not a conduit, which is just like a behind-the-scenes talk. And this is Gypsync Towers, which was supposed to be for a sitcom project.
Aquarius, what are you doing here?
Well, as you know, I'm the journalist here, and I'm working on a documentary about our company.
Why?
Leo said so. So I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, alright? Is that cool? Yeah?
Of course we do. Alright.
Hi, we're streaming, by the way.
I know we're streaming. I just came to say hello, everybody. I'm alive.
Barely.
Mostly. I'm mostly alive.
Barely. Not mostly, barely.
I'm alive. It beats the alternative.
That is true.
I want to go pass out and I can't because I have 6 more hours of federal securities laws examination to do, and then like 40 more hours of advanced corporate law to do, and 2 3-hour tests to take, and it's gonna be fun. I hope you're all having fun. I hope you're having fun. Happy thoughts, everybody.
Happy thoughts. Yeah, so like I said, there's a reason why AJ isn't here today. We are going to continue.
Awesome.
Yeah, shoot.
Well, first off, what's your job here like?
Oh, well, I'm the chief financial officer here at Gypsync Towers, so I do like the checking and the bills and making everything balanced.
Awesome sauce. Okay. What do you like most here?
Do you mean here as in hell or Gypsync Tower?
Happy thoughts.
Gypsync Tower, silly Willy. Everybody knows we're in hell already.
Right, of course. Well, I really like the view from my window here of the city, and
Nice.
also really enjoy the food, wonderful food, and also I enjoy how the journalists most of the time allow me to have my alone time to work. You know.
What's your opinion of the company?
Well, Gypsync is a very financially stable company. It's very good. One of the 3 largest newspaper holders in Hell. Third only to, this Inquirer right now, which I'm sure this Inquirer is going to go under soon, because... It is, because Zakar continually publishes things about Kobal's entertainment group instead of the pressing matters of the war in Naraka and piratery in Murray Maria.
Okay. You mentioned this Inquirer, so are there any other competitors you'd like to mention?
Well, I mean, the
Daily
Dispater
Crimes.
Post is a third-party, small newspaper, so we never have to worry about that. But the one that I don't think we'll ever catch is Zagum's Daily Crimes, which I still have no idea how he gets all his stories. It's like he's got, a deal with Lucifer himself.
Do you really think Lucifer would sell political secrets?
Well, Zagum and Lucifer are both part of the Fallen Party, so yes.
Are there any coworker conflicts?
Oh, and I'll have to put the link on the Discord
Not
to
really.
invite everybody to watch my last video.
Except for, the occasional, 1 or 2 people who come in here and, spend way too much time in here talking to me while I should be working. And there's also, the major one is... Gemini? Is that you? I told you to stay away from this hall! Yeah, him, and her, and, I'm sorry, I see that.
One more question.
Actually, can I get back to work, please?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so that was it. Oh, of course that would come up in my recommendation after that. So yeah, that's basically everything I did in this college stuff. It only took an hour. Yeah, took an hour to go through. So yeah, a part of the rest of this was going to be some other stuff. So let me just go here, and we're going to change this up so you guys can see me, and we'll just chat. Chat if you want. Chat if you got them. AJ? Can I have you move the stuff off the couch?
Yeah.
Or I can try. Hold on. I'm trying to. This is not being. No, you're fine. You're fine. Never mind. You don't have to speak in Korean towards me. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, no, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I can just do this. No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. I said don't worry about it. Hi. Yeah, so I'll show you guys some just interesting stuff, maybe. Or we can chat, whatever you guys want. Whoever's still here. I think Multiverse 8 is still here. I think I'm still here. And I think there's one other person still here.
Really, really quickly, I will be posting a link in the Discord at some point for being able to watch I'm editing a musical for my law school. Yes, it is a law school musical based on Super Smash Brothers combined with Scott Pilgrim versus the World combined with law school. And tickets are free, but I will post the link to get those on the Discord. It's just going to be through Zoom, so you sign up for the tickets, and then there's one showing on the 7th and one showing on the 8th, and they'll send you a Zoom link, and you click in, and then you get to make fun of me for everything I've been working on. It'll be great.
Excellent. So I really want to do something and have having Greek characters meet Norse characters. Oh, yeah, no, I definitely have that. Let me see here. Can I get this up? This is like a drawing, a terrible map drawing attempt. So this is like the Netherworld, kind of the look to it, if you will. In general, I do have a a circle map of hell. And then there's a lot more details to it. But another reason I wanted to talk because there was some other stuff like modding. I've been doing modding a lot, and that's taken time from this because I only have so much time per day. We have this, obviously, the streaming, and I love the streaming. It's only, 4 hours a week, so it's not that much, but I do feel I might go watch that. That sounds interesting. I don't have anything up with that, but there are some things that have Greek mythology and Norse mythology meeting, other than God of War, obviously. But yeah, this is kind of like my baby. I'll just show you. This is all my character designs are in here. It's not all of them. It's not even close to all of them, but there's a lot of really interesting ones, and I'm hoping to have a link. So coming in the 14th, I'm actually part of this tournament. Fun fact. 14th, 15th, 16th, I got this tournament going on that I'm in. I'm not actually participating in the tournament. I'm a guest speaker in the tournament. And it's for the FTL modding community, and we're going to be linking stuff. We're going to be linking this, which obviously this channel needs a little TLC, tender love and care, just to fix it up because, yeah, we haven't had much time to actually focus on it, and I probably won't for a while. And same with the modding. I want to do the modding, but if I focus on the modding, I can't do the writing. If I focus on the writing, I can't do the modding unless I can find a way to support us without having to worry about having a standard job. So I'm currently working on trying to get a Patreon going for my series, actually, with some tiered rewards and things, and I'm in the talks with some people about how to do that and what rewards to do. And then that would also allow me to have some more time if I can make enough to not have to do the other day job, because then that way I would have time for this and the writing and the modding. I would have essentially this be the main job, me focusing on this world, and then the other two stuff being like the hobby time, which I'm splitting between these three things. So that's just kind of like the thought I'm in, and just kind of the funk I've been going through, trying to think about things and figure things out, just trying to lay all that info out. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, I have 8 rough drafts of books, and that's not counting the other ridiculous stuff I have written, because originally it wasn't a book series. Originally it was a monologue. It started as a monologue. It started as a death's monologue, him lamenting about himself. I wonder do I even have a copy of it on this computer? I know I have the copy at home, but do I have a copy of it on this computer? That's actually a good question. I don't seem to. But essentially the monologue had to do with Death lamenting over how no one likes him, how everyone's scared of him, how no one wants to embrace the afterlife. And that's kind of how this whole thing started. And then spiraling from that, we got to a play about death. And then spiraling from that, it'd go into a play about the other three horsemen. So it was originally the standard for horsemen in this story. And eventually it grew and grew, and I just wrote with no concept of continuity kind of deal, just for fun. And things started to grow, things started to be added. And now we're at this part where there's nothing else to be added. I have the plan set out. I reorganized it. So I started working on that stuff for fun back when the spring of 2013 was when I first started working on that. And then I reorganized everything in 2016. And since then, I have written 8 rough drafts for books. And that's not counting the TV script for 2.5 of these books, which will be converted to books. The play script for about 3 other projects within this franchise, maybe 4 other projects within this franchise. And so there's a lot of stuff I want to do. And obviously I think the world's good and like very interesting. So yeah. Definitely willing to show off something. So I'm not a good artist. At all. I won't let that be a secret. Period. But I do have some character designs, and these designs are using basic character models, if you will, like the things you use for fashion, right? And so I just want to show a couple of these. I'll show like, I'm curious. What do you guys want to see? If I can't do that there. Let me type in here. I'm gonna show probably 2-3 characters. Let's do which characters from the web series do you want to see my designs of? And we'll start with that. And I got quite a few. I have a lot of others. And that is one thing. I am talking to someone to hopefully do better concept art for me. And if that does work out, then maybe that'll be one of the tiers. I just awful at figuring out this type of stuff because almost everything I'm just like, well, the modding I've worked on easily hundreds of hours on for free, and yet the majority of it, because it's a community-based modding community, it just wouldn't feel right to ask anything for that. The streaming, we don't really do too much, so I'm like, nah. But this book series, this is something I want to do. And if you guys are there, just let me know what character you want to see, and I'll show you off like a couple character designs just for the funsies of it. Like I said, it's not that great, but it's something. Maybe I'll do whose line is it anyways? I could do him. Yeah. No. Someone from the web series. So let's hear. We had Belial. Belial's would be an interesting one. Let's find Belial. He's we got so many here. It's not even funny. There's Daniel, Chezekiel, Beelzebub, Belial. Here we are. So, as you might notice, and this is actually something mentioned in the book series, so like I said, not that great. Hell, Azazel, and Lucifer? Okay, sure. I'll do that next. So he's kind of based off of an Inquisitor look. He's got a scar on his eye, and he's bald. He's bald in the current timeline, which is actually something I do joke about in the books, because in the prologue we do see him with a full head of hair, just like in the series. But, do I have Azazel? Azazel should be... not here. Azazel should be under Nephilim, I think. I'm not sure if I have Azazel, but we will see. I have Avernus here. I do not have Azazel, unfortunately, at the moment. Which does make sense, because in the main books, he actually doesn't show up that often. He does show up, but not often, because of where he's located. I do have Hel, however, if I can find her. So, Hel is a bit of a different kind of look than what you'd probably expect. So, basically, she herself is frozen over, just like you'd expect, but then her dress is that of, like, a very glam, fashion, fiery kind of look. Like I said, I'm not good with drawing. Faces, terrible. But the fashion, I think I got some interesting stuff in. And yeah, so that kind of embodiment, because she is typically, like from what I've seen, she's usually wearing like a robe. She's kind of decrepit, but I didn't like that interpretation for this, especially since she's supposed to be a nun. She does have like the frozen face, the frozen features that really make her different. But let's see here. Lucifer. I do have Lucifer as well. Of course I would have Lucifer. He's kind of got that conquistador kind of look to him with the shirt and pants and boots kind of deal. Mainly because of how I have planned. Oh, and then the other important thing to note, at this point in time, he purposefully gels his hair so that way they look like horns. And the reason for that is a lot of species in Hell have horns. And so he does that to kind of like gain almost like a favor with them, you know, kind of like recognizing, hey, you guys have horns. I don't have horns, but I'm styling my hair like I have horns kind of deal. And then the little things on his back, that is the remnants of his wings. So since he used to have wings, but when he fell, part of the process of falling is they cut, oh dear, Pestilence, why do you have to be a problem? They cut the feathers off of the wings when you fall. So you'll see a lot of the angels in Hell have the stubs of where their wings are, but they are defeathered. So you'll see like the skin, but it's a bit it's charred almost all the time because of how they defeather them before they fall. And it's very painful. It's a painful process for sure. But yeah, so lots of talk, lot of things to talk about, but yeah, I don't have too much. I know once I do get the whole thing set up, I will definitely be posting a link here. I'll be telling everyone about it probably, and then hopefully getting people to do stuff so that way I can do things in a more expedient fashion. Yeah, in general, I think my biggest issue is I don't have enough faith in myself when it comes to the actual anything. I know I'm good with world building. World building, I'm like set on. But when it comes to the actual dialogue, I feel like, oh, I need someone to help edit, which is AJ. Aha! Wait, you have drawing of the 4 Horsemen? Yeah. It's actually not the 4 Horsemen. In my series, it's the 24 Horsemen. And there are reasons for that, but yeah, I can show off a couple of them. And they are actually the main characters of the book series. So every single book in the Horseman saga is called Book of, and then whoever the actual character name is. So Book of Pestilence, Book of Death, Book of War, that type of thing. let me show you. I mentioned pestilence, so I'll do pestilence. So this is kind of pestilence. He has the standard plague doctor thing. He's green because of the plague-like stuff. He's got the apothecary thing, but his helmet doesn't cover everything. You can see his messy hair on top. He's a bit pale. He's very pale, actually. And there's lore reasons behind why Death looks like a skeleton and why Pestilence looks so pale, while their sister Hope is extremely tanned. Let's see here. Death is very similar to Basic, but not quite. So, as you see, he's got like the old-timey ruffle cloak stuff at top, and then he's got the standard robe all the way down. He's a skeleton. Not shown here, he also has an hourglass on him, which, when pointed to a person, will reveal how much time they have left. And I can show probably war, famine. Let's do war, and then let's just do the basic 4, and then that'll be all I'll show of the horsemen, basically. You have war here. Now, war is very much based off of a Spartan warrior, but added with like an element of berserker kind of vibes. He's very much war in the best sense of the term. I'm not sure why he shows up here in the, unless, oh, is this supposed to be in the order of, yeah, okay, so I have this, I have them listed here, not in order of name, but in order of the book. Okay, that's why I'm finding things out of order in the front here. Okay. And then I'll show famine. Famine is a peasantry kind of garb to go with it, but his thing is a mixture of like medieval peasant, a bit of, I want to say that's Japanese, and then a bit or not Japanese, but just like, I think it was actually Japanese now that I think about it. I'm trying to remember which culture. And then a bit of Egyptian peasantry as well, kind of mixed together for famine. Hello again, Plush Minister. We're just kind of showing off some of my character designs, some of the more basic ones. I'm not going to show off any of the other horsemen because of, well, reasons. Okay, get out of there. But yeah, so it's 24 horsemen series is kind of like the general gist. And yeah, I got quite a lot done, if you will, but I just need people to edit it because, like I said, I feel like I'm down on the world building. World building I got down, but the dialogue itself, I'm like, it could be better. I feel, I don't feel confident on the dialogue itself. I mean, to be fair, AJ's told me that the dialogue is fine. And some of it's just like, I know the world too well, and so I expect people to know the world as well. Which, as you can imagine, is not something you want. Yeah. And when I...
Are we talking about the series or the books?
The books.
Boy introduced 40 characters in the first 10 pages. 40 main characters in the first 10 pages. There were 24 in the family alone.
Yeah, and then who else is a main character?
Everybody at Beelzebub's feast.
Okay, that's fair.
Everybody there at Beelzebub's feast.
Not everyone at Beelzebub's
and
feast.
everybody in the PD office.
The Hell's PD office.
Yeah, so you introduced everybody who worked in Hell PD, every person that's involved in the cases that are going on, all of the main players in politics in the entire nation, and all 20, was it 24 or 26 members?
It's 24 members.
All 24 members of the Horseman family in the first 10 pages of the book. It was fun. But it's good. But he forgets that not everybody can keep track of 40 characters within 10 pages.
Well, that's why I have you to help fix these glaring issues.
You're pretty.
I thought you needed to work on law.
I do need to work on law. I should go back to...
no, Ares, Aphrodite, and Phobos would be very interesting to see in different art styles for sure. Do I have an Aphrodite?
I don't think you do. I know you don't have Artemis that you've shown me at least.
No,
Because
I
you
know-
I would be all over that. Artemis is my favorite.
I know I have an Aphrodite in the series.
Artemis
Aphrodite
is my
shows up
favorite.
at one point with War. But let's see here. She would be under Candice. Aphrodite. Nope. That's a big nope on that one. I do know she does definitely appear in the series, though. Her along with Venus. Being, like, sisterly towards each other. Or maybe not sisterly. Maybe that's not the right term to give. But yeah. Yeah, so if anyone has any other comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, perhaps, I'm going to be seeing what I can do, what I should do, how I can do things coming into the next few days. Obviously, I want AJ to help because, once again, like I said, I just somehow randomly start to freeze sometimes. And I just, like, forget things. Not forget things, but that's not the right way to say it. I just suddenly freeze and I doubt my abilities, my own abilities. There we go. There it is. I doubt my own abilities, and then I refuse to go back and fix errors and that type of thing, and it causes a lot of issues down the line. But yeah, everything's planned out, essentially. I just need to actually get things edited, published, that type of thing. Hi, Sif. Do you want to say hello? We have another person who joined in again. Yeah. Come on, Sif. Come on. Yeah. So, yeah, if you want, I have an FTL tournament that I'm going to be a guest star in, and I'll post a link during the streams and in the Discord when that comes up, so that way people can show up, and then we'll talk about things. Sif. What is it? And then, as I also said, we'll actually get a Patreon set up. I know we said we had a Patreon for the channel, but that's a way to do it. That's a way to do it. Interesting. Kinky when you think about it in the mythological context. Sif, are you gonna come up? AJ, can you help him?
Hi, Sif, baby. Come, you want to say hi to everybody? Yeah?
Yeah, come up and say hi.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. He just jumped up on my lap.
Yes, he did.
I love you.
Just put him in my lap.
Okay, come on. You ready, Sif? Who's a good boy? Oh, wait, he's too low. Even when he's in your lap, he's too low. He cannot be seen. Meow. Meow. Hi, good boy.
Good boy. Yeah. So now we're just sitting, we're
Good
chatting,
boy.
we're talking.
I'll take him off of your lap before he falls off.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay, good boy, Sif.
But yeah, when there's more progress and stuff, I'll talk about it some more again.
You a good boy?
But I think for the most part, unless I just go through like every detail, which I don't want to do right now, I think that's gonna basically be it. Like I said, when I have more details on things on like either Patreon or like updates on actual updates, like things coming out and that type of thing, whether or not this thing works out, all these type of things, the tournament, the Elven Honors trailer. I was actually thinking more FTL players would show up asking about Eldritch Horrors. That didn't happen though, so we didn't really talk about it. But yeah, no, in general, Eldritch Horrors is still a thing. I still have a lot to do on that as well. But I do think, because I had so much free time last summer, and a lot of it went to the modding, and then I kept this at the same pace essentially. But now that I don't have enough free time to do both, I think I'm going to focus more on this until I can have more free time for the modding again, / until Multiverse stops breaking everything I do, like the following update. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to stay determined. I'm surprised this video lasted this long for a bunch of videos that ended at like an hour in. But yeah, I'm so thankful that you guys decided to join, listen to me ramble, listen to me talk about stuff and ideas. And yeah, I hope to have updates for you guys soon. Goodbye!